Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. Today we have an interesting and informative video for you. We're going to do an in-depth look at firewood for pizza ovens. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Pizza wood? If not, you're going to. So if you're asking yourself why I'm doing a video on firewood for pizza ovens, there's a good answer for that. As you know, we sell firewood, we sell lumber, we sell fire starter, and we recently purchased a kiln to dry lumber and dry firewood. That should be here in about a month. And I was looking for another product to offer, and I'm trying to figure out if it's worth doing or not. So I've done some research, I've done some market analysis, trying to figure out the best way to make this stuff, what would set us apart from other suppliers. Basically, I want to see if it's worth doing. So when I started this process of trying to learn a little something about firewood for pizza ovens, I did what anybody with a brain would do. I called a plumber. Not just any plumber, I called Plumber Jim. Now you may or may not be aware of this, but not only is Jim a master craftsman when it comes to all things plumbing, he's a bread maker, and he knows his way around a pizza oven. Jim has been using his pizza oven that he built himself for probably over a decade, long before it became trendy and popular. So Jim gave me his opinion on what he thought people would be looking for in a quality firewood for pizza ovens. And after that, I started to do some market research. I wanted to see if there's a need for this out there. And I tell you, it didn't take long to figure it out. There are tons of companies that are getting on board with making pizza ovens. As you probably know, Solo Stove came out with one not long ago. Brio, they just came out with one. Now theirs is a little bit different. It sits right on top of your current Brio pit. I may actually get one of those, but they're big and they're heavy. I think the Brio one weighs about 75 pounds, and you don't need any specialty firewood for it because it uses the fire pit that you already have. But the overwhelming majority of the rest of them that I found all take different sizes of pizza firewood. I also learned there doesn't seem to be any standardization of sizes. I've seen from 4.5 inches up to 12 inches. So to me, it would appear that you would have to make a variety of sizes if you want to take this to market. So after I realized there's all these different types of pizza ovens out there, I started looking around more and paying a little bit more attention. And I realized if you go to your big box store or Ace Hardware, really anywhere, you will see pizza ovens for sale. And there's a reason for that. People are buying them. So once I confirmed there is definitely a market out there for firewood for pizza ovens, I wanted to continue my research and kind of see what was available on the market right now. There are a lot of companies out there that are already selling firewood for pizza ovens, but what was most surprising is the price that they were selling it for. Now, like I said, there doesn't seem to be any standard to this, but I took 5 different examples, okay? Company number 1, 10-pound box. Company number 2, 12-pound. 15, 22.5, and 10-pound. And the price of those boxes of firewood range from $33 on the low end all the way up to $69. Now, here's the interesting part. So check this out. This is a typical piece of firewood that I'm used to producing and selling, okay? This is what I want to start selling, right? These are 8-inch pieces right here. I think it would be best to offer 4.5, 6, 8, and 12. That's my opinion. I probably need to do a little bit more homework on that, but what we have right here are 8-inch pieces. So I'm trying to determine what these cost to produce and what they sell them for. And what I found was pretty shocking. So I was trying to find a good way to quantify what this wood is worth in other forms. In other words, let's say I have a big red oak log. What would that be worth if I processed it into firewood, regular firewood? What if I were to process it into lumber? What would that be worth? What if I process it into pizza wood? What would that be worth? And the way I figure it, the best way to do this is to calculate it by board foot. So like I said, the competition, they sell by weight, 10, 12, 15 pound boxes of pizza wood. So I had to figure out exactly how much wood that is. And by doing it by board feet, I think it's pretty easy to figure out. Now, a board foot of lumber is 144 cubic inches. So a board foot would be 1 inch thick, 12 inches wide, 12 inches long. That's one board foot. Or this is a board foot of lumber, very close to it, 1.5 by 9.5 by 10. It's 0.99 board feet. This right here, 4.75 by 2.5 by 12, 0.99 board feet. This right here, 1 by 2 by 72, that's exactly one board foot. That's what a board foot of lumber is. Now, a kiln-dried board foot of red oak weighs about 3.66 pounds. Now, since we know that, we can calculate how many board feet of lumber they are converting into pizza wood and how much they're selling it for per board foot. Now, depending on where you live and what is available out there, a board foot of kiln-dried red oak, rough sawn, let's say it's $3.50, $4 a board foot. I think that would be a fair price for good quality red oak. All right, $3.50, we'll say, per board foot. So using that information and applying it to the 5 different companies that I'm using for an example, if you look at the weight of the boxes they're selling and the price that they're selling it for, it works out to about $15 per board foot is what they're selling pizza wood for. So in reality, you could actually go buy kiln-dried lumber, split it up into little pieces, and make money. Now, after doing my market research to see if there's definitely a need for this product, I then looked at the competition. I looked at what was already available on the market. The next thing I wanted to do was look at customer reviews from some of these companies, and most of them were really good. I will say, though, the biggest complaint would be dirty firewood with bark. They don't like that. And the other thing was they did not like when the wood was not consistent in length. Those were the 2 standouts. So with that being said, I think it's fair to say if you want to sell pizza wood to the masses, it's going to have to be a good quality product that's clean and consistent in length. So in order for me to make the best quality pizza firewood with my operation, I'm going to start off with the sawmill. We will eliminate the bark, we'll saw some boards, and then we will try splitting them up on a couple different log splitters and see how we do. Alright, what I did there is something that I don't normally do. These are all different thicknesses, from 3/4 of an inch to 1.25 inches. I think one of them 7/8, because I want some randomness in the firewood. If I didn't, I could just cut stickers, you know, nice square 1 inch by 1 inch, and cut those to length. But for firewood, you want that airflow. You want different sizes and shapes, and that is why I'm not going to cut just stickers. But we'll start with this. I'll take these up to the building. We'll cut these on the miter saw, and then we'll start running them through the splitter and see what we end up with. All right, so check this out. This is everything that I took up to the building and cut down on the miter saw. There were 5 boards and they were 7 inches wide, okay? So you got 7, they're 8 feet long times 96 equals 672 divided by 144, 4.66 board feet per board times 5 boards, 23.33 board feet. That's what's right there, 23.33 board feet. Now, if you're to sell this as lumber after it was kiln dried, let's say $4 a foot. We will be generous. 23.33 times 4, $93 worth of wood, okay? Now, what'd I say, 23.33 times $15, which is what they're selling this pizza wood for, $349.95 after it's split up and kiln dried. Now we're going to start off splitting this with the split force log splitter, and then we're going to try the Wolfe Ridge as well. I'll say right now, I don't think either of these are the right machine for this job. Both of them will work. I think if you're going to do this on a small scale, the best bet would probably be just a small electric log splitter that you could set up in your garage. You could go out there in the evenings and crank out some pizza wood. I think that would work great for small scale production. Now, if you really wanted to produce a lot, I think you would definitely need a kindling machine, which they make. There's all different types out there. They're very expensive actually, but if you wanted to produce a lot of it, I think you definitely need something like that. For what I'm doing, I think the sawmill would be a big part of this. I could take 8 10-inch logs, put on the sawmill, square them up, make them bark free. I could take those slabs, I could even be generous and take big slabs, cut that into regular firewood, and then I'd end up with an 8 or a 10-inch cant, and then use that to make pizza wood out of, whether it be with a log splitter or a kindling machine, something like that. But we're going to fire this one up right now. I don't think this is going to be a fast process at all, but we're going to see. Like I said, that little bit of wood right there is $350 worth after it's kiln dried, boxed, shipped, all that. But still, I think there's money here. I'll tell you what I learned so far. Neither the split force or the Wolfe Ridge is the right machine for the job. The Wolfe Ridge worked a little bit better. With the split force, the vertical splitter, they were kind of popping out of there, flying all over the place. I also learned that it would just be a matter of time before you'd lose a finger or something using either of those machines to make this little firewood. Something else that I learned, I think 3/4 of an inch up to an inch sawing into boards would be better than like 1.25 inches. The thin pieces, like the 3/4 inch ones, you can make them flat, sort of flat like this when you split them. I think this would be a good product. And a lot of this is going to be determined by what type of wood you're using. The reason that I chose oak is it will burn for a longer period of time. You know, if you were splitting like cedar or something, it'd be super easy to split, but that stuff would just go up and be gone in no time. I think this would make really good pizza wood, but definitely need a designated kindling machine, in my opinion. Like I said, if you're just going to do it on a small scale, I don't think it would be a big deal, but I would go crazy if I tried doing this all day long. I would. It's just very tedious, I guess you could say, and it doesn't feel like you're getting anything done. I mean, I got quite a bit here in probably half hour, 35 minutes maybe, but it just feels like you should be producing so much more than what you are. So I haven't even gone through half of the wood that I brought down, and I mean, there's a lot of wood in there. There really is. For a little pizza oven, that's a lot of pizzas. Now, like I said before, we have a kiln coming. So what my thinking is, get some metal baskets, big baskets that are stackable, not like an IBC tote. You need something with very small openings so this isn't falling out, off of a kindling machine into the baskets, and then you could stack the baskets in the kiln. And I mean, if you filled a kiln up with this, you could do a lot of pizza wood. And if you do it after it's split like this, you know, you could let it air dry in the baskets for a month or two and then put it in the kiln. It wouldn't take long at all to dry this the rest of the way. But the kiln is the ticket if you want to, you know, ship out of state or anything. It's got to be kiln dried. If you're selling local, probably wouldn't be a big deal, but you definitely need a kiln to sell pizza wood besides, you know, just your local area. Another thing to consider is this. These pizza ovens, they've been around for a long time, but they seem to be gaining in popularity, which is a good thing if you want to sell pizza wood. However, the more pizza ovens that are out there and the more people realize there's a market for this type of wood, the more competition that will be out there. Like I said, they're selling it currently for an average of about $15 per board foot. That price will probably drop over time with more sellers in the market. So you would definitely have to streamline things and make it worth doing, because you can make no money holding down the couch. There's no sense to go into all this trouble if you can't make any money. So that's something else to think about. As far as marketing goes, all different ways to do that. For me, if this is something that we choose to do, we will keep producing it, get a whole bunch ready in the kiln. I'm sure out of the people that watch our channel, say we get 100,000 views on every video, there's going to be, let's say there's 200 people out of 100,000 that have pizza ovens. I think that's a very conservative estimate. They're going to see how it's being produced. They're going to see the quality of the wood. So I could sell it through our website. That's how I would do it. Another thing that I could do, if you really wanted to ramp up with this kind of thing, we could sell it through our videos, but sell on Amazon as well. Because I was looking at the quantities some of these other sellers were moving in a month's period of time. You know, it might be 250 units per month. So if I were to direct people, our customers, through Amazon, you would instantly be bumped way up the list. So when anyone went to Amazon and searched for pizza wood, ours would be one of the first ones, if not the first. At least that's how I think it all works. I'm still not sure I want to do this or not. We'll have to see. I think if I had a kindling machine that you could just crank this stuff out, it would definitely be worth doing. But even on a small scale, at least for now, there's definitely money to be made. There is. And, you know, would I want to set everything up just to do pizza wood? No, I wouldn't want to do that. But like I said, we got a kiln coming, we got the sawmill, we got the wood. The only addition would be a regular kindling machine. And I think it may be worth doing. We'll just have to see. But like I said, doing it this way, I would end up in an insane asylum. It's just very tedious, you know. But if you had a nice automated machine that you're just putting blocks in there kindling spitting out the other end, that would be a different story. Plus, like I said, with a small electric splitter, you know, you could do this stuff on rain days or in the evenings or weekends, whatever, in your garage. Might not be a bad gig. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. I hope this was helpful for anyone interested in making pizza wood. So we'll have to see what we do with it. Catch you on the next one.